Alright, doing a short little follow-up video to Miya Ponsetto versus the Harrold family, because the Harrold family just will not stop posting about her, inciting the BLM mob against her, clogging up the airwaves with their fake sob story from real families needing real justice. So first off, the 34-minute segment that I did about Miya Ponsetto and this Harrold family, Keon Harrold and Kat Rodriguez Harrold, Keon, key point. I want to point that out first, that I kept saying Kenyon, that I kept saying Harold Kenyon and then Kenyon Harrold. It was the first day I was skimming through the articles and getting a feel for the characters involved. And I know Kenyon Martin from basketball, so it truly was an innocent mistake, but I don't really care if you see it as racist or not, because then once I posted the video and everything and the article and the videos in the article, by the way, I really recommend you watch that 34-minute video. Lots of revelations pointing out things you did not know about the Harrold family and about Miya Ponsetto, the truth about this story. But when I posted it, I was like, fuck, it's gonna look like I intentionally was saying Kenyon when his name is Keon. Keon. There's no N in there, and I'm used to Kenyon Martin. But then I was like, oh, because I'm a Trump supporter, and the libs especially love to say that things are racist that are not racist, like this entire story. And especially since Trump was saying that Obama was Kenyan for a bunch of years and not an American, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. They will say, oh, of course I said Kenyan instead of Keon. It's to try to say that you're from Kenya or something. Nah, completely innocent mistake because of Kenyon Martin in basketball. So it's Keon, which is a unique name I've never seen before. And I digress for a second here before I get into this stuff about the Heralds and Miya Ponsetto. But yeah, when people say Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris, I don't even know which of the two it is actually still, because there's such subtle differences. But if you say it one way or the other way, then you're racist or not racist. And just totally irrelevant. But when I see her, all I see is complete whore. Complete sugar baby whore, which is fine and whatever, but she's not this inspirational, what an unbelievable, hardworking success story that one side of the media wants to paint her as, because you know that she made her way up. She worked her way up the ladder by sleeping with Willie Brown. So, 60-year-old dude, and she was like 30 or something like that. Yeah, so whatever. Just don't say that she's super successful because of hard work. She's super successful now because she opened her legs for a really old guy, like twice her age, 30 to 60, and so she's a super slut, and that's how she is now, where she's at, which is cool, fine, Danny. Just don't pretend that she's this inspirational role model that got where she is because of hard work. Who knows where she'd be if not for those little scandalous little XXX rated secret stories of hers. But anyway, see this? Look at this. I almost won the lottery there. You see how I only needed a couple of numbers? If I had those couple of numbers, I would have had a press conference. I would have had huge headlines. It would have been a big story. But I didn't get it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. If only this, if only that. This could have happened. If I left the house 5 minutes sooner, then I could have gotten this car crash. That person would have, done this to me or that to me. It's like the entire theme of Keon Harrold's grievances in all of his interviews. And they did this new interview on CBS, and we're about to show you the clips. We're going to call out a bunch of parts of it. It's like, this could have gone a lot differently. Because we got accused, because we're black, things could have gone a lot differently if the cops had shown up, and if they had seen me a different way or gotten the wrong idea about my tone, then they could have arrested me and something could have happened. It's like, I cannot believe this is still a news story where it's like 10 woulda, coulda, shouldas. They're sounding like gamblers. And it's like, none of that stuff happened, and none of that stuff has to do with Miya Ponsetto, and yet this is still somehow a news story because they're that selfish. They're clogging up the airways. Well, it's only a news story because she's pretty and she's bratty, and these people have some notoriety. The wife, the mother of the boy, does backup music for Beyonce, and he's a trumpeter, so he has some notoriety. And then just because it's an incident involving a non-black person and a black person, they were able to bring in Ben Crump. And there is some really trippy full circle irony going around. It's all in the article, newsball.com/Miya-Ponsetto, and it shows how Ben Crump is just involved in everything, and so is Keon Harrold from 2014's Michael Brown that was killed by the cops. But Michael Brown is an entitled criminal bully, and that kind of an entitlement's okay for him to show mercy to and be really sympathetic of and make a song about. But this girl, who people say is entitled, she acts entitled because of her looks, she gets no mercy, no sympathy. They want to destroy her, they want to kill her, they want her to suffer to the max, etc. over a misunderstanding, possibly, where now revelations have come out about what she's saying in the new part of the interview that was just released, where we still don't really know where her phone was. It wasn't in an Uber, and we're going to show her clip. This is a little cool mashup of the clips, and it'll give you a great understanding of the entire storyline of what's happened. But it's all because of the father not wanting to cooperate, not wanting his son to pull the phone out to show if it was his phone or Mia's phone. And then Mia's phone magically did just show up at the receptionist's desk when they let Mia back into the hotel, and it was absolutely not in an Uber though. And so you'll hear the mother say, "There's gonna be so de-escalated from the beginning." And it's like, this is a month later and you're still acting this dramatic. And yeah, it could have been de-escalated, but look how suspicious your husband, how his antics were, how confrontational he was being to this cheerleader girl's confrontational bratty attitude. So yeah, it all could have been avoided, but then you just kept throwing gasoline on the fire, and you wanted to throw in the racist factors, and you want to milk this for a payday, and you don't want to accept her apologies. Of course, you even said it, the apologies aren't good enough because you want way more than just apologies. You want prosecutions, and you want to be some symbol and get more notoriety, and you're all just stretching, okay? Because Ben Crump is the tell, okay? Ben Crump was Michael Brown's family's lawyer. Ben Crump was Breonna Taylor's lawyer. Ben Crump was Jacob Blake's family's lawyer, or Jacob Blake's lawyer, because he's not dead yet. He's just got paralyzed from being shot 7 times because he raped his ex and then went back to rape her some more, and there was a arrest warrant, restraining orders against him. He still showed up and then fought the cops and resisted arrest, and he got shot a bunch, and Ben Crump's on that case too. Ben Crump is on all of the cases. And now he's on this case, which has nothing to do with anything, just a cheerleader girl thinking that they had his phone, her phone, and maybe they did have her phone. We will never know, unless the hotel actually wants to show the video footage of when did the phone get brought to the front desk and by who. Maybe they are protecting the Harrolds. We don't know, but listen to what Miya Ponsetto is about to say. But it's just unbelievable that they would bring in Ben Crump. They didn't hire him. You know, Ben Crump just wants to seize on any story, any encounter, any confrontation with any black person versus non-black person. And so this is a really intense, extreme, so excessive, so unnecessary, so extra, from going to California to drag her to New York, all because the BLM mob is demanding it. But there's like, when you hear Al Sharpton in this thing, he sounds like, demand justice, demand prosecution to the fullest extent of the law. He says that the same way as all of the black people that have been killed by police. He still says the same exact lines with the same amount of energy and tone to it. So you know this is it's just the most ridiculous story ever when they don't even differentiate between the types of things. We are talking about a bear hug here. We are talking about a cheerleader that grabbed hold of this 14-year-old boy. There's some funny parts in here, funny clips. It's a little mashup, but you're going to be able to figure out the whole storyline all in this video if you haven't been caught up to speed yet. And if you have, then there's some new stuff in here for you as well with the brand new interviews that came out. So here you go. Boom.
She assaulted a 14-year-old boy, not a guy, not a man.
Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Your phone was returned to you by an Uber driver. Is that true?
That is not true because I arrived to the hotel with my phone in my hand.
Okay, who returned your phone to you?
The hotel receptionist.
Mia, where had the phone been?
Why don't we ask the hotel receptionist?
The hotel helped the lady retrieve her phone. They did not have a security ask her to wait for the police. I'm so angry. I'm so angry at that hotel because this could have been de-escalated. This could have been de-escalated a long time ago.
No, you can't. No, I'm the manager of the hotel.
Maybe it wasn't him, but at the same time, how is it so that as soon as I get asked to leave the premises after I had accused this person of stealing my phone, how is it that all of a sudden they just miraculously have my phone when I come back? And it didn't seem as if my accusations really bothered the son and the father, because they were just enjoying a nice meal right after this whole encounter.
I have an issue with the idea of entitlement versus character.
Demand full prosecution. We demand, if this woman is saying she was assaulted, put her in the grand jury.
Version is that, I was grabbed.
Pushing her away to protect my son, yes.
Better get on somewhere, lady.
Get my phone back.
Do with racial profiling. If I had done that, what Miya Ponsetto done to my son, I'd be in jail now. If I had hurt her in any way, I'd be in jail now. We wouldn't even be able to have this conversation. No one has to say the N-word for something to be an act of racism. I feel like her apology was, as genuine as when she shushed you.
You're 22. I get it.
Enough.
It said a lot.
Yeah, I apologize. Can we move on? Those were the exact words that she used with you. Does that sound like an apology?
I'm just as a kid at heart as he is. I feel sorry that I made the family go through all of that stress, but at the same time, it wasn't just them going through that.
I just don't think that you helped yourself by your behavior. When you looked at that video, what did you think? What did you think, Miya, when you looked at the video?
You already asked me that in the beginning of the interview. I'm not going over it again.
You said that he was traumatized. This is a big
traumatized.
deal. You're traumatized too because...
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely sorry to the family and the dad and the son for making them feel as if I was racist towards them when that is not my intention.
What does justice look like for your family at this point, for the both of you?
Justice, I think the idea of justice, just like the idea of the apology, is so much more than just saying I'm sorry, because people can say I'm sorry and it's empty. Justice has to do with change.
I wasn't racial profiling whatsoever. I'm a woman. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm like a woman of color. I'm Italian, Greek, Puerto Rican.
You keep saying you're Puerto Rican. Does that mean that you can't be racist because you're saying you're a woman of color? Is that what you mean?
Exactly.
What you see two black people?
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.